Super Symmetry News. 10 a.m. Monday 27th Janus. 2 days before Chinese New Year of the Snake. The insight into persecutory subjection explicitly against thought as zoography and cratic is fast becoming apparent. A plagiarism and cheat-coding academic exams leading to stagnation through the sectors is obvious dry rot, a algorithmic hinged systemic unhinging. And you're about to find out what it really means for you, personally. Here is one citizen saying what is up. It's up to you, however, to muster the resolve to find firm footing. Here's how. I have adequately identified observable recurrent traits of same patterns of elicitating techniques. In other words, neural control setting systemizing through PC power users as augmentative and alternative communication, specifically through animatronic IoT. Internet of Things. A subversive auto language modeled linguistic attribute. You could say it's a emitting trace by the routine of the users. Language barriers in an index of casts of many different yet static primed language models, such performed as latent interactive adherence by many, is its propagation. Resulted as a uniform typesetting by way of morphology, metamorphosis, and xenomorphism, substantiates the misuse of apparatuses and arsenals of cybertronic spying surveillance (CSS) methods. Preceding Cybertron architectural and archetypal database rebasing via metafictional allure, is the telematic unhinging cast that I speak of, a alternate source to a metric attenuation. Further elaborating upon the factors of corruption and loss of confidence in state practice hitherto. Of a callous orchestration of a wide berth of systemization incorporating hive mind and mind flayer stratagem via cellular work designed as a fabricating self-assemblage at subatomic scales. A aperture sortie of many different types administered against through uniformed modeled preset construct and constructs, exemplified of this as thought form. Neurolinguistics and consequential neural latency is proof enough of the foreign elemental subduction and superconductive rematerial rebasing upon the hosts, especially of those open-ended to being wholly assimilated in alignment to that of draconic imperial subnet stylized masked fallacy. Betrayed against in secret through Kabbalist cyber criminality observable as God game dithyrum, mind games and land language modeled attenuation. See Irish Secrecy Act 1963, and Strawman Fictive Idealism. By law, common law definitions, acts, and thereof active itinerary deployed as aggravations involved as kinetic military action, via such arsenals employed of electromagnetic frequency EMF. Exotic weapons of mass destruction, manipulated through the extant electrical grids and subunitary infrastructures as biotech, nanotech formulas of synth-eco, exo, biophage. Ergo of xenomorphic adjustment to its systems of data-based brain datum tethering, assisted by aggregate, as grievous assault upon approximated persons, and others. The testimony by way of expressions is easily decrypted beyond the instance of writing and disposition and the instance of communication of chosen syntax, syllable and synonym compensation. Consider how you read literature ring-dring. There's another clue for you, adjust accordingly, beware the initialisms, read the next word before the last, attune. Whilst observable as a assimilative protocol being acted out by the unaware or subjugated hosts in relaying latent, dormant anim activity oppositions, impulse drive, and thus tactile impression. As a harnessed kinesthetics, what is intelligible to the intermediate and expertise of learned persons? For such communication and command being primal to guidance, GUI dance divulges so much more than the immediacy of the morphological of written, vocal and bodily expression. Ascertaining that of subsistent personages of such power noetic architectures is then so suspected. As a preyed upon pomposity of credulous impressionables denoting and emphasized in the recent period as spiritual and religious warfare, ergo, a technocracy conformism to centralized cellular impacts of status quo alternates. Thus the entity of non-playable characteristics is also easily identifiable of what is of such assimilative protocol and peripheral arsenals of Cybertron. That then is the most suspect until cleared, for it is as though a camouflage in plain, citable, disquality, everything is questionable, and everything is evidence. We are developing dynamic protocols of guidance methodology that is counter-assimilative, compelling the sensors to adjust, according to your personable experience. This is about sense datum. Remember, and so resolve of a wayward misguidance, synesthesia, Brodmann Area 51, 34, 9, etc., crikey yikes pine gaps, and a neural latency suggestive neurogenics. It's about assimilating and absorbing the impact of wrongs committed, yet with remedy and salvation and also redemption, for we ones hath been averse against. So, we just gotta do what we gotta do. The consequential immediate and residual, the reverberation, the magneto-optic trappings, the iso-ablation, so then after, that is what this notation is particularly and explicitly for. The sense data is compelled to survive, with that accomplished the most primal bastion is, to learn, then to adjust, adapt, compensate, and then to achieve enlightenment, for such is in fact the innate natural order, in alignments already. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are living through thresholds, and it is such that the archetypes and filters have been contrasted upon, through and within. As if singularity-tethered clusters of singular embodiment, power nets. The radio aversion experienced, this time round, is being assimilated as an interactive systemic telepathy, although it isn't, a gloomy boon, that ye might think. To extents it has in fact been necessary to developing telepathy on a fast track exemplified of the psyche predominance that's been going on, a inerting interdictive cognition, a gearing. And so a negative-positive backlash countering its sooth-thought content auto transmission, using the psychogenic allure of subroutine to vantage, now. So, it has been of necessity to maintaining cohesions of communication just as the psyche. Do be aware of the antithetic initialisms of prompt reassertions, self-align and fear, not, to do so, utilize your atom to vantage equilibriums, kindly. A traits of dominance is its forte, beware the negatives and practice self-semblage in maintenance, advance with all corrections. My advice to you and your family, sleep together of roomy approximation for, we, do dream together with such approximated surrounding. Do this at least 1 or 2 nights a week, in fact I'd say, every night, but given the normative culturized separatist folly these days. A subtlety of getting you to consider this is the effort, evidently. Good day.